head over to Oklahoma. Last week on Overreactions, Patrick, I said that I think Oklahoma.
Well, you're going to want to listen to this one.
I said Oklahoma is in danger of maybe losing out because it did not look like John Mateer was back. It just looked like the offense was just sputtering and the team was sputtering. And I made the overreaction that they're going to the Citrus Bowl with 6 losses on the season. They made me eat my words immediately with a big win this weekend. What'd you make of the Sooners being able to get a win over Tennessee in what was essentially, in a lot of ways, kind of an elimination game?
Yeah, well, I imagine you had to feel pretty good about it after, the first few minutes of that game because OU did not look good, and Tennessee looked like they were probably just going to roll this one. Right. And somehow we ended up with Owen Heineke hitting the quarterback and our Mason Thomas hobbling down the sideline with a hamstring strain and, finding the end zone. And that just really seemed to turn things around. That in the leg of Tate Sandell, him and his short shorts.
Yeah, can we talk about that real quick? Is there going to be like a competitive ruling, as I like to say? Like, are we going to get a jersey ban? Make sure we can get some longer than 5-inch inseam football pants.
I saw a funny tweet that was like somebody who was just making stuff up. They're like, what people don't know is that after every made field goal, Tate Sandell cuts a little bit off of his pants to make them even shorter.
I mean, I guess if it works for him. I mean, he drilled 4 50-yard field goals. Like, that dude's.
2 from 55, another 50-yarder. He missed his first one of the season too. His first field goal attempt against Michigan, he missed it, and you're kind of like, well, all right. I mean, they got this guy, but I guess it's the same old, where you can't really trust the kicker, and now he's ripped off 18 in a row. So
no
pun intended, ripped off.
Exactly. Yeah. I love it. Specifically with the offense, I know the numbers don't necessarily blow you away. Mateer 19 for 29, 159 yards with an interception. But it looked like it felt like he was back. Just from maybe even just an aesthetic standpoint, what did you make of Mateer's being able to lead this team to that win, even without the gaudy numbers that he was putting up before?
Yeah, and that interception was almost catastrophic in the second half. As soon as he goes back to throw the ball, I'm sitting there going, "What are you guys doing throwing the ball in this scenario?" So they get kind of lucky that didn't come back to really haunt them more. They had the 2 onside kick recoveries. But yeah, I think Mateer, it's kind of what I was saying is it would be nice to get the run game going to kind of take a little bit of the pressure off of Mateer.
Right.
And, the stat line didn't really blow you away, but, he did seem to be able to throw the ball a little bit better, making some better decisions outside of that RPO where he decided to pass it and he get picked off. But, that's also kind of been some of the, the gunslingerness of John Mateer this year. Even when he was cooking, doing good things early in the season, he still had those couple interceptions, turnovers. So that's like, some of the things that you have to live with Mateer. And, early in the season, it was easy to live with those mistakes. And then it became unbearable to live with those mistakes. So I think maybe now I think this can only give you more confidence moving forward if you're Mateer.
Right.
And I think maybe he's settled in a little bit, and that should help him. Now, you get faced with put in a position where your confidence can easily go flying away. You have to play at Alabama in your next game, but they do have the bye week to kind of, maybe build on some things. And, I think that they could put together a competitive game against Alabama. Am I expecting them to win? No. But I think this bye week could really help them, kind of game plan for some things. And, the one thing that I keep asking all of these other offensive coordinators, head coaches, why do you run the ball against OU?
Right. Yeah.
I can get into that a little bit here, but
sure. Go ahead.
I keep wondering, like, every single time I'm like, why are you running the football? Because when you watch these other teams where they're having success is throwing the football. The secondary is a little bit suspect, especially with Gentry Williams out and banged up.
Right.
So I did some numbers here for
I want to hear
the OU defense in SEC play. In five SEC games, opponents are averaging 2.4 yards per carry.
Wow.
And obviously that takes into account, quarterback sacks and the lost yardage there, but 2.4 yards per carry. And and only 3 touchdowns running the football. So
Right.
I can, every time I'm like, why are you running the football? Like,
Right.
you're just giving them more chances to, tackles for loss and everything like that. And their opposing teams are averaging 243 yards through the air, completing 65% of their passes.
Right.
7 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, and that was, from this past game, the 2 interceptions in the Tennessee game. So I continue to ask, for anybody that plays Oklahoma, why do you run the ball? It makes no
You're giving
sense.
him the scouting report.
I know it's like
I
it's
get that, the balance and everything like that, but
Right.
come on, just throw the ball.
just gunsling that thing, because it's kind of like the Death Star in Star Wars. Like, it's got a vulnerable spot, and as long as you just hit it, and you're fine. You blow the whole thing up. And Joey Aguilar, he had a great game, nearly 400 yards there in the matchup. You talked about running the football, and at the beginning of the season, we all thought it would be Jade Knott, and then towards the middle of the season, Torrey Blaylock really kind of took off. Blaylock had 0 yards, and they were still able to run the football effectively with Xavier Robinson. What'd you make of his performance and being able, like you said, to help out Mateer in the passing game by running the ball?
Yeah, X has been pretty awesome for OU now that they finally figured out, hey, maybe we should get him the ball more. I think he played 60 of the 66 offensive snaps for OU, and I was curious to see, because he had that fumble and the cameras cut away and it looked like DeMarco Murray, the running backs coach, kind of gave him a little bit of, a talking to.
Right.
And I was like, I wonder if he's even going to see the field the rest of the game. And just the fact that he played 60 of the 66 snaps is pretty telling that they really believe in this guy. And, the fumble is what it was. And I think he is their most complete back right now. I mean, he's a freaking tank back there, and he's also got speed. Like, he's not slow. He's a big back. He's got speed, as we saw in the Ole Miss game when he broke away for the 65-yard touchdown. He really kind of outran the secondary there. He's got speed, and he's also got they say he's got really soft hands too, and he's been able to make catches out of the backfield and stuff like that. He's been their most complete back.
Right.
He's been their best back. And the thing with Blaylock is, Robinson's just bigger. So, when the offensive line isn't getting you all the push, he can still kind of break through, and you're not just going to arm tackle him down. You got to full body tackle this guy if you want to get him down.
Right.
I think that's really where it kind of makes the difference having him. And you mentioned Jade Knott too. Is people are joking afterwards that they should be giving the rest of his NIL payments to Tate Sandell.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I think they found something with Xavier Robinson. Why it took him this long, I don't know. I mean, if you watched him play last year, it was pretty easy to notice that he was pretty good as a true freshman.
Right.
And I mean, Torrey Blaylock, he's had his moments, and I think it could be a good split between the two of them. I was a little surprised that he didn't get much more run, but I don't know if he's battling through a little bit of an injury.
That's what I was going to ask if he was.
He had the shoulder injury early in the season, and I don't know if that's still kind of bothering him or anything. But so I think they really found some. I was also just surprised how much they ran Mateer. Again, it was like that Michigan game where they just kept running the ball with him.
Yes, exactly.
Which I thought maybe they'd go a little bit away from that, and instead they doubled down on it. So that was kind of an interesting thing, and it worked. I mean, he had one of his best rushing games in a while. So
absolutely, and it wasn't the prettiest game overall. I mean, he still had a couple of turnovers in the game, had a fumble. Had 3 fumbles overall, lost 1. Mateer also had an interception as well that you mentioned was close to being catastrophic for this team, but they were still able to come away with the win on the road. We got a chance to hear from Brent Venables about overcoming those mistakes.
Yeah, and again, if you go back to Michigan, we made a bunch of mistakes. You go back to Auburn, we made a bunch of mistakes. You go to South Carolina, that's football. And it's easy for everybody when you don't win. Those mistakes are magnified. And every play, has tremendous magnitude. I know I talked about that on Tuesday. Every play, and where sometimes you learn the hard way. And tonight, fortunately, we were able to overcome. Just like Tennessee, they made plenty of mistakes too, and they still had a fighting chance there in the fourth quarter. And that's football, and it's never going to be perfect. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for where everything didn't go the right way, perfect. That's how you grow and you improve, you get better, and we're incrementally getting a little bit better. Winning on the road at a place like this, that does a lot for, your belief and your confidence, the rhythm that you want to try to create here in the back half. And it doesn't get any easier. And but I'm thankful for the adversity that our guys were able to overcome. It'll do a lot for them and for this team.
So there's Brent Venables on overcoming those mistakes, and now they sit squarely, give themselves a chance to still be in the college football playoff picture. The rankings come out tomorrow. I'm really interested to see where Oklahoma falls. But from your perspective, what does this team, obviously outside of winning out, but how does this team need to play in order to put themselves in that top 12?
Yeah, assuming they lose at Alabama, I think you have to win fairly convincingly against Missouri and then LSU to just kind of take care of business.
Mm-hmm.
I think the schedule kind of, will speak for itself in that regard. I mean, I think last year we had Ole Miss that was kind of in the conversation with 3 losses.
Correct.
Obviously,
yeah,
they didn't make it in.
Mm-hmm.
You'll end up in the conversation, and it just depends on what can be done. Obviously, if they win out, they're in, and they're probably going to be a pretty high seed in the playoff, because that'll, be road wins over Alabama and Tennessee, plus, ranked wins over Missouri, Michigan, even Auburn was ranked whenever they beat them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they'll be in the conversation. 9 wins kind of felt like, before the season, you're like, oh wow, this would be an awesome season, and with the schedule, they'll probably be in the hunt for the playoff, and that's where we're sitting right now. That's where it feels like is a 9-3 season. You're right on that line, and I think that's a fantastic year, just given off of what has taken place in Venables' first 3 years, the 2 7-loss seasons. Winning 9 games in this SEC with that schedule, I think that's just a huge, momentum builder for this program. And obviously, Brent has been on the hot seat in his early tenure. So this definitely, would give him some more grace moving forward, and, definitely buy him at least another couple years, I would think. So it's been a big season for them. Obviously, it hasn't been pretty. They haven't been consistently good, but they've been finding ways to win games, and that's really all you can ask for, because in the past it felt like OU was just constantly finding ways to lose games, and now they're finding ways to win it. So that's kind of a nice sign for Venables and the staff moving forward here at Oklahoma.
Absolutely. So as you mentioned it is the bye week, and then it is Bama. And I know you've said it kind of twice that you don't expect them to win. I know the Vegas odds won't have them winning, but last year Jackson Arnold came in there and beat Alabama. Essentially that loss, scoring those 3 points, kicked Alabama out of the playoffs. So we will see. It could be really interesting there in Tuscaloosa. Holden, thank you so much for your time here on Southeast Sports Plus today.
All right. Thanks, guys.